Assalamu alaikum and welcome to this week's An Nur the Light. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "If anyone travels on a road in search of knowledge, Allah will cause him to travel on one of the roads of paradise." We kick off this week's episode with Professor Wesahl Domingo, who heads up the Wits School of Law. The journey to become the head of law at Wits University was not something Professor Wesahl Domingo ever dreamt of, but today she has done what some might call the impossible. As the first woman of this prestigious faculty, Professor Domingo is breaking stereotypes and setting a path for herself.
It's a very administrative job right now. It is overseeing the running of the school. What that means is dealing with students, with staff, the learning objectives, teaching and learning objectives of the school. We're doing a lot of things around decolonization within the legal curriculum. And so my day-to-day, if you want to call it that, is answering hundreds of emails from students, meeting, for example, with the Law Students' Council. The unit that completely falls under the school is 3 centers. So we have the clinic, we have the Mandela Institute, and they run short courses. And then we have CALS, which is the Center for Applied Legal Studies. And what they do is they do a lot of public interest litigation. So if there's an eviction, they would be the ones that would do that. I sign off on documents most of the day as well. So if somebody needs to take a flight to a conference, all of those kinds of things come through my office. If somebody goes on leave, so it's really the nitty-gritty of running the school.
Becoming the head of law means one has to have a vision for where to take the school. Professor Domingo built hers around a few key areas and is implementing it stage by stage.
The theme of my vision for the school is transformation, but not just transformation in decolonization way. That's not what I wanted. So there was about 4 core themes that I was looking at. So it was transformation of education itself. The students have come forward and they've said, you know what, you need to change the way you teach. But that's not only teaching, it's the substance of what we teach. So as a law school, we need to connect with that. Then it was governance structure. So the law school needed a change in the way in which it operates, and that speaks to institutional culture. And that's important. So while you get black faces into the academy, there's also something to be said about how do you go about promoting people to full professorship. We don't have much full professors in this law school. We have 1 black male full professor, and then we have 2 females. So the success rate in that. So you can bring someone in, and this is what wasn't told to me. So I came in 16 years ago, but nobody said to me, you know what, this is how you need to plan your career. You're going to have to write articles, you're going to have to publish, and it's going to have to be quality publications. So you're going to have to put it in these kind of journals, and you're going to have to develop yourself as an expert. Nobody told me you need to balance that with your teaching load and your administrative load. And so for me, that was important. Developing, one of the things I want to do is develop young academics and grow our own timber. The vision is transformation, but also unsettling the status quo. In other words, that leadership needs to change in order to have a change in that vision, but my vision I want to be shared.
As a working mom, Professor Domingo makes sure she still sees her family as often as possible. Her husband has taken on the role of ferrying the kids to and from their daily activities, but he makes sure to stop by her office so she can spend some quality time with them.
I have 3 children, 1 girl, 2 boys. They grew up with a mother in a university institution, so they kind of know what it's all about. I did tell them that I'm like the boss now, and you know that. They're okay with it. But support from my husband, yes, wonderful. The kids are important. I put family first, not the job. I made that decision many years ago, that my daughter was very ill for some time, and I realized all of this goes away. This is a job, and I can do the job well, but I always put my family first. They are more important than the job.
At the heart of Professor Domingo's life is her religion. As a Muslim woman, she has often encountered people reacting different to her. She sees this simply as an opportunity to share the beauty of Islam with those who care to listen.
Being the head of school with a scarf on and being Muslim has gravitated a lot of females towards me. So I had a lot of Muslim students that's not very quiet in class, but I've got messages from them saying, mashallah, we're so glad you are Muslim and that you're a head of school. You're a great role model for us. So there's been that positive things, which I didn't think. You kind of know that it's there, but to get that affirmation from students has been great. I think within the school, people know me so well that they no longer, I think, see the scarf. They know my values. They know who I am. Being at a university institution too, I choose my battles. So there may be some things I'm vocal as a Muslim, and there may be things that I'm not, because I have to remember, I have to represent the entire student body. It doesn't matter which denomination you're coming from. So that personal biasness or whatever mustn't come in. Value system, yes, I think that's important. So for me, working with the money in the law school, for instance, I take that as haq. Somebody, if I misuse the funds, I'm taking away from somebody, and that's a misuse of haq, which means for me, as a Muslim, that would mean that I would get punished for that, not only in this life, but the year after. So that's how I see the money that I deal with here as well. And so the decisions that I take are based on, I would say, my Islamic values as well.
As Professor takes on the role as head of law at Wits University, she knows that she is up against a number of challenges. This does not bother her. She relishes the opportunity to show that she can do it. With Islam and her decades-long career behind her, there is no obstacle she cannot conquer. As Muslims, we are blessed with amazing role models. The best, of course, being the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Next up is our book, tech and app segment. New Directions in Islamic Education, Identity Formation is written by Muslim educator Abdullah Sahin. With an extensive background in Islamic studies, theology and education, Sahin examines the link between pedagogy and the development of religious identities from the Islamic perspective. Based on pragmatic research, the book explores the philosophy, theology and social subtleties which encompass Muslim education, thought and traditions. The Honeywell's Tuxedo Touch is the state-of-the-art home controller, centralizing all home electronics into one easy-to-use touchscreen device. With the Tuxedo Touch, you will be able to control your security system, cameras, lighting, blinds and locks via built-in voice commands and smartphone remote services. Numerous Android applications have been designed to keep track of the insignificant aspects of daily life. The Qamardeen app helps you observe what really counts: personal spiritual development. With Qamardeen, you can take record of the prayers, Quran reading, charity and fasting you have completed throughout the day. The app is password protected, using privacy in accessing your progress. Download this free app and you'll be certain about where your improvement and growth within faith has been made. If you know of a great book, app or tech that we haven't featured, then why not let us know? Details are on screen. The Ahmed al Kadi hospital is celebrating its first year in operation, and we went to find out about the lessons learned and the journey ahead. Opening and running a private hospital is not for the faint-hearted, and 1 year ago, some brave souls did just that. So far, they've managed to not only keep the doors open, but have built quite a reputation for the good work they're doing.
Well, it's been quite a challenging ride. It's been many challenges, many obstacles, but alhamdulillah, we actually have done exceptionally well for the first 12 months. Most hospitals take a while to basically break even. But after 12 months, we're kind of quite happy with the progress that we've made so far. So we're kind of getting there slowly. When we first started this project, when you guys were around a while back, it was just a piece of land. A few years later, we've actually got a living, dynamic, busy facility which meets the requirements of our community.
One of the major successes for the hospital has been to attract many health and medical professionals who've moved their practices and are now based on the premises.
You know, to work as a neurosurgeon requires not just an individual effort, but a team effort. And I think the specialized team is most important. Not only is a facility important, in other words, it must have the ability to provide all the instruments needed to perform surgery, but it also must have a multidisciplinary team. And I think this hospital has a multidisciplinary team, a very good one. Surgery is one part of a patient's recovery. The rehabilitation, the post-operative care makes or breaks the success of a surgery. And I think we've been very lucky in that we have a good team of specialists, we have a good team of nursing staff and allied health professionals that provide for us the kind of environment to do good healing and get good results from our surgery.
The Ahmed al Kadi Hospital is also making its mark through some groundbreaking surgeries that are happening here.
We've done some satisfying brain surgeries, brain tumor surgery, and I think a hospital lends itself to specialized brain surgery in the sense that we have an operating microscope, which is a high-power microscope, allowing us to do dissections safely. There's a neuronavigation system, and a neuronavigation system is pretty much like a GPS system, for your car. You plot in the coordinates, and it takes you the shortest, most direct route to your destination. A very similar thing with the brain. We do a specialized 3D scan. It tells us in a 3D reconstruction of where we want to go, and it plots for us the safest trajectory and the most direct route. And that translates to a less invasive sort of surgery, and more importantly, a safer surgery with less tissue destruction in the brain.
It certainly hasn't been an easy task nor plain sailing, and the hospital still encounters issues. They, however, have a dedicated team who are on hand to solve problems and move things forward in a progressive and positive way.
I think the key thing as far as private hospitals are concerned, we needed to achieve a certain level of excellence. So our vision and our mission focuses on being the best hospital possible, but I think the priority is to ensure that we give the best care possible. You know, when a person comes into a hospital, they're sick, and when they're sick, they need to be comforted, they need to be reassured, and when you walk into here, you kind of feel there's a difference. So we're quite happy with the progress, and I think we're achieving that, because the feedback, if you look at Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you'll find that many people that have been here, they love the ambience, they love the wide open spaces, they love the 3 floors of 2-bedded wards, the care. The nursing care has been kind of par excellence. You know, it's been really up there.
Judging by the achievements over the course of just 1 year, the team at Ahmed al Kadi Hospital are confident about their future. Expansion plans are in place as the hospital sets their next target on a growth path that will add more facilities and office space.
We've purchased a good couple of properties over the last few years while we were still developing this facility. And those properties surround the hospital, and with the ultimate vision of us having a medical node or precinct surrounding this hospital. We've subsequently built a 2-story medical center just across the road from us. We've developed other medical suites to accommodate doctors. And the plan going forward for this facility is to include a neurology center of excellence, including a sleep lab, to look at the cath lab and cardiac center as well, which is the only missing discipline that we have at this facility, and to actually show a holistic approach to all disciplines in the medical fraternity at this one-stop shop.
Opening this hospital has been a dream come true for all involved, but the next few years is all about ensuring a legacy is created through the service of all of humanity. The team's faith, after all, comes only from Allah. With Ramadan comfortably behind us, the events calendar is definitely going to pick up. We found out what's happening in your neck of the woods. Gain in-depth knowledge about the rules of tajweed. Learn the attributes of Quran sounds, when you should stretch vowels and when you should not, where you may stop reading and where you may not, and much more. This workshop is your chance to learn and practice correct recitation of the Holy Quran, inshallah. Students will also be given an opportunity to recite to the teacher to facilitate correct pronunciation. Red Cap Events, who successfully brought you Family Festival Bazaar 2017, are proud and excited to host the Winter Fair 2018. Together with the hundreds of stall holders, they promise to give your family an experience of a lifetime in a safe and clean environment. Experience tantalizing food, and for those bargain seekers, come with lots of money and an SUV, as you will not be disappointed with the bargains available. Besides the food and shopping and rides, there are many more activities for your family. Inflatable park, cartoon parade, mobile acrobatic and fun shows for your family to enjoy a relaxing day. Kindly note that due to the family theme, there will be no alcohol sold over the period as well. We are providing prayer facilities and clean ablution facilities as well. You will not find anything better to do over this weekend, and it's just a 5-minute drive south from the Johannesburg CBD. I Seek Change. Dealing with depression, stress, loneliness, gene possession, mental health and more. To all those suffering from sadness or depression, know that it isn't your fault. It isn't because you're weak. It isn't because you're not grateful enough. It isn't because you're just not religious enough. It isn't because you don't have enough faith. It isn't because God is angry with you. The modern day challenges consist of many. In this new course, Ustada Yasmin Mujahid from the USA will show us how to overcome and deal with tests in our lives and use them as a means to become closer to God in light of the Quran and Sunnah. For more info and to book, please visit www.alburujpress.com. Cape Town is South Africa's tourist mecca, and more travellers are finding their way to our shores. Halal tourism is on the rise, and we have some cool places to check out. Few things make everything better than chocolate, and a daily dose of this wonderful invention is sure to make even the grumpiest person happy. It has to be one of the most unique tours in the Cape, one that will leave visitors deliriously happy.
Cocoa Fair is a bean-to-bar chocolate company, and we're chocolate makers, and our main aim is to make people happy through, our chocolate. I think the main thing why we do what we do is to make people's, absolute chocolate moments absolute, It's an emotional experience for people. They have it when they're happy or they're sad or they want to share, and our aim is to get that perfect chocolate pair, for that moment that you have. So the people here, none of us have got technical training in chocolate making, and we absolutely just do it from the heart, and we try and we experiment and we play around, and we're just a great, amazing family that loves making other people happy.
The tour is designed to showcase the process of chocolate making from bean to product. It's both interactive and educational, as visitors get to see, feel and taste as they go along.
So when you come to Cocoa Fair at the Old Biscuit Mill, this is our main production where we do make our chocolate. So we invite everyone to come and have a little piece of heaven that we experience every day. We have a store where you can buy our full range at the factory, and also you get to go on a tour where you can get a little inside view into our world. We do chocolate making experiences, so if you want to bring the family and the kids, and we want to show people what we get to do every day. So our cocoa beans come from Panama. We believe in fair trade, so we buy the whole entire harvest from the farmer itself, and then they get majority of the profits. It also allows us to kind of govern, how the plants are grown, the fermentation, to make sure that we have the best quality beans, and then it gets shipped to us, and then once it arrives home in Cape Town, we roast ourselves, so everything gets done from that point, But we have a hand in all steps of the process.
Everyone gets a happy ending as they take home armloads of the sweet, bitter, but oh so yummy stuff. Chocolate truly does make the world a better place. Moroccan food tantalizes the taste buds with its sweet-sour combinations, and one place in particular serves up authentic home-cooked meals.
Andalus is Moroccan restaurant. It's tradition, homemade food. Favorite dishes, we have couscous, we have tagine, we have soup, we call it harira soup. And we have kebab, mixed kebab that is more Mediterranean, mix between Moroccan and Lebanese, Palestinians, all mixed in one dish. We call it kebab. But Moroccan food is not about food, it's more about culture, about, we're too much involved in food is not just food to eat.
The place can be best described as a hidden gem situated in Main Road, Woodstock, behind an almost nondescript entrance. Inside, however, the senses are arrested by the decor and smell of the Kasbah and Morocco.
We're trying to keep it as small as possible, as fresh as possible, because we have about 4 dishes or 5 dishes altogether. We don't want to make too big, Mediterranean menu is too big, and you can't make all, otherwise you're not going to keep it fresh. This is why we keep it as small as we can. And like what I said, we are in the menu is about 5 items, just different, but we have, like we say, couscous, tagine, kebabs, soup, that's all, but just different tagines and different kebabs. We open 7 days a week from 11 to 10. That is our opening hours.
Food arrives in traditional cookware with more than enough for everyone. The hospitality as both African and Arab, where patrons are welcomed as family. This is definitely a place to visit where one gets to have real good food. The door on the outside of the Ermister Museum can be best described as a portal to another dimension and is best experienced when visiting here.
The Ermister Museum is the former home of the South African artist Ermister, whom I think many would regard as, I would like to say, our greatest painter, but we won't say that. We will say one of the greatest painters of South Africa, especially of the 20th century. And it is governed by the University of Cape Town in association with the trustees of the Ermister estate, who are based at Nedcor. And so together, the university and the trustees govern what is essentially a gift to the South African nation by the artist Ermister, who intended that her collection remain in its entirety for the enjoyment of the people of South Africa. It just suggests a whole world and tells an epic tale and is rich in detail and celebrates the genius of her work. She is a very great painter.
Every room in the house has an abundance of paintings, sculptures and artifacts that relate to the life of this world-renowned artist.
The great flowering of Irma was in the 1940s with these works which she executed from her travels and during her travels also, when she was in Zanzibar and in the Congo. And they both speak so beautifully to our situation in South Africa, being such a mix of various cultures, in that, there's such a great presence of the Muslim world in Cape Town and such an important part of our lives. And also that was for her very important and very aesthetic. The cost of visiting the museum is very, very low. We try and keep it low because we want people to come here. It's 20 Rand for adults and it's 10 Rand for seniors and for scholars. And you can come anytime from Tuesday to Saturday. We close at 2 o'clock on a Saturday. Otherwise, it's 10 to 5 Tuesday to Friday.
For the art enthusiast, this is a must visit, as the presence of Irma can still be seen and felt all over the house. Our Round the Country tour has come to an end this week, but we'll be back next week. Same time, same place. Terima kasih for tuning in, and Assalamu alaikum from me, Zahra Robinson.